Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Board of Directors' regular meeting scheduled for today, Monday, July 20th at 3 p.m. If I could get a roll call, please.
Director Meyerhoffen,
Here.
Director Martin,
Here.
Director Sewell,
Here.
Vice President Griffith,
Present.
and President Duff.
Present.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. Seeing that we have all members of our board present today, we can skip number 3. And Director Meyerhoffen, would you like to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance today?
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Director Sewell?
Hand over your heart, repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. And Counselor, could we please get our rules of procedure read today?
Absolutely. All notice meetings are conducted using Rosenberg's Rules of Order as a procedural guideline. Directors should refrain from responding directly to public comments at meetings of the board. The president of the board presides at all meetings and decides all points of order and procedure during meetings. The president is responsible for the maintenance of order and decorum at all board meetings. No person should be allowed to speak who has not first been recognized by the president. All questions and remarks should be addressed to the president as the presiding officer. No member of the board should speak more than once upon any one subject until every other member of the board wishing to speak on the subject shall have been given the opportunity to speak. No board member shall interfere with the orderly progress of a board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. And with that, it is the time of our board meeting to accept public input. This is an opportunity for members of our public to address the board on matters within our jurisdiction that are not listed on our agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less, and state law prohibits the board from discussing or taking action on any item that is not listed. Is there any members of the public online?
Not online, Madam President.
And are there any present? I don't see any. All right, great. Moving right along to our presentations. I know that we had a presentation on our number 7 Desert Hot Springs High School Real Academy on Thursday. Will we be doing anything additional today? Okay, great. That brings us to employee recognition, our human resources report, personnel activity for June. General Manager Macy.
Thank you, President Duff. Members of the board, I would ask Oriana Hoffart, our Human Resources Manager, to provide a quick summary and introduction. Oriana?
Thank you, General Manager Macy. Good afternoon, President Duff and members of the board. This month, we have a brief but meaningful recognition to share. In addition to celebrating 3 employee service anniversaries, we're also recognizing an outstanding professional achievement. We're pleased to announce that Zachary Norman has earned both his Distribution Operator Grade 2, that is the D2, and his Water Treatment Operator Grade 2, and that is the T2 certifications. Since joining the district, Zachary has done an excellent job learning the daily operations and responsibilities of the water production department. He has consistently demonstrated a strong willingness to learn, continues to expand his technical knowledge, and has gained confidence in carrying out his day-to-day responsibilities. These certifications reflect his dedication to professional growth and his commitment to serving our customers. At this time, I'd like to invite his supervisor, Water Production Supervisor Nate Mather, to share a few words about Zachary and his accomplishments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ariana. Madam President, members of the board, Brian and Marion, just want to come up and congratulate Zach again on his achievement. That's a good step in the right direction for him on the treatment side and the distribution side. Shows his willingness and dedication to the water district. Can't talk today. We like having Zach on there. He's like a sponge. He's young and eager and wanting to learn and soak everything up as much as possible. No pun intended on the sponge and water. But he's doing a great job. Glad to have him there with us. So thank you.
The pun was fully acceptable. Sponge away, Zachary, sponge away. Congratulations. Were we going to do a photograph? Okay. Oh, please, yes, if he wants to. No worries. Welcome.
President Duff and members of the board. Just want to thank you all. You guys have all been very kind to me in our, employee meetings and all that, and very welcoming to me. I know that I'm still fairly new, so thank you all for your welcoming spirit. I'm looking forward to continuing to grow here at Mission Springs Water District. It's been very enjoyable. My props go to the production department. Nate has been great. Tim's been great. Robert's been great. The whole team, even other departments. So I just wanted to make that known. I love my department, love my crew, and it's been fun. So thank you.
Absolutely, Vice
I
President.
just want to say something before you go. We take pictures. This is pretty impressive because it wasn't too long ago that you came up here with this level 1 certification, right? And how long you been here?
I think I'm coming up on 9 months.
Yeah, that's super impressive. So I think that deserves extra recognition. So thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Griffin.
Thank you very much, Zachary. And now we'll take now we'll let Ms. Hoffert continue. Please, everyone, fire drill.
Eager to take our pictures. This concludes our human resources report for today. Please take your pictures.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hoffert, and congratulations to the anniversaries of the other 3 employees.
I'll just watch that hand.
This way? Okay.
Let your hand hit.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. There we go. Thank you.
On the back row.
Oh, back row, you missed some people. Thank you again. That took so much time. My security protocols locked me out of my computer. Just a second. Okay. All right. So with that, we're going to move on to action items. Our first action item today is number 9, to adopt resolution 2026-15, authorizing the issuance and sale of not to exceed 28,500,000 revenue certificates of participation and approving related actions. General Manager Macy.
Thank you, President Duff, members of the board. As you know, we talked about this on Thursday and what efforts we have done as a district, as well as the CLEAR Committee in getting us to this point. Skylar, would you like to come up and introduce our guest as well as give any additional background in addition to what we gave on Thursday?
Thank you very much, General Manager Macy. I would like to introduce Michael Bush from Urban Futures Incorporated and Brian Forbath from Stradling to give a presentation in addition to Thursdays to more detail about the debt issuance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bring it up from East.
Welcome.
What do I do with this thing that's up here?
Oh, they used to leave that. There we go.
Got it.
Yep.
Great. Thank you, Skylar. Good afternoon, all. It's a pleasure to be before you. I think I've been here one other time. It's been a while. I see some familiar faces. As you know, I've worked in this area for about 20 years. It's been a pleasure to work with your staff. It's been even a greater pleasure to see how successful you have been, having to dive into your financials and to take a deeper dive into how the district's been functioning. It's very good, and we'll go through some of it as part of the presentation. So let me start. Did I lose it? Did I go too fast? All right, here we're going to go through a couple sections. I'm going to present this myself, and then Mr. Forbath is here when we get into the documents of approval if you have any questions. But we're going to go through a little bit of overview. We're going to talk a little bit about what's in your staff report as it relates to good faith estimates and the market. And then we'll talk about the documents themselves, which you'll be asked to consider for as part of the package, then the schedule from today going forward. A little bit about the transaction itself. So in your documents, you'll see a not to exceed amount of $28,500. We're likely going to issue a little bit less than that. We give ourselves a little bit of room for where the market may move. You're aware of what we're financing. It's a new administrative building as well as some water infrastructure, some booster stations. This specific transaction will be issued as certificates of participation, paid solely from water revenues and wastewater revenues. There's a coverage requirement with debt based on your revenue that comes into the district. So for every dollar of debt, you have to bring in $1.15. This is consistent with most districts throughout the state of California. We did contemplate a higher level of rate covenant, which you could do, and we did not decide to go down that path. Typically, you would do that for like a credit reason. You don't need to do it here, and we'll go through why. You guys are in a really strong position, so we felt like this was appropriate. As the board is aware, we paid off quite a bit of debt as part of this transaction. There were some recommendations from your financing team to do so. I think it was a little bit more than $1 million. And so you are left with a small amount of debt that's listed here. Was left for two reasons. One, favorable debt environment being the 2.2%, and the covenants weren't restrictive to us being able to go forward. Some of the other debt that was refinanced required the district to make certain assumptions or to structure the debt in such a way that would not have been beneficial in the long run, even though the prior debt was really small, $200,000 or $300,000, for example. It was going to require you for this transaction to do certain things that were unnecessary. So that certainly helped. As part of the process and talking with district staff, we looked at a rate stabilization fund, which basically is like a reserve, a debt service reserve for coverage purposes. We decided to establish one, and Mr. Macy recommended with Skylar that it be also funded. So I believe in your staff report is a recommendation to fund it. The purpose of this is twofold. One, it's a credit enhancement that the insurers and bond markets will look at and say, okay, there's a rate stabilization fund here. And really the function of it is if for whatever reason in a given year, you can't meet your rate covenant of 1.15%, you can go into your rate stabilization fund and pull out the money that's necessary to do it. You can use the money for other things, but that's basically what it's there for. A lot of districts create one, but not all of them fund it. So you are actually funding it. It is available in revenues for the district to use as you go forward. This chart here tells you a little bit about where we are in the market. So a lot of volatility. It's likely that the delay that you've had with your bids helped you actually in the market, because I think when we were going to go forward, it was crazy in the markets with volatility day to day. Things have calmed down up until the last few days, but we'll see what happens. I think the market now is somewhat some expectations of what's happening and what's transpiring. There's been at least some less volatility, but they're still moving, as you can see from this chart over the past several months. Something that we've monitored, built into your staff report, is a good faith estimate that I'll go over in a minute that makes assumptions on where we are with rates. We still think very favorable, certainly not as favorable as it was, a few years ago, but certainly good for the district based on market timing. The staff report is required to include a good faith estimate that we create as your financial advisor working with the underwriter, in this case with Wells Fargo. It's for obviously for transparency purposes, but also to inform the board of, hey, here's what we think the market will produce when we go out to issue debt. So the par amount, as you can see, is less than the not to exceed amount. This is the expectation that we have going forward. The true interest cost is the combined cost of financing costs and everything, including the market rates, of about 4.5%. It is a 30-year transaction, pretty standard for municipal bonds and level payments that you'll see to the right. And you'll see a breakdown below of the sources and uses on how we expect the funds to be allocated. This transaction, although 30 years, has a standard 10-year call. So in year 10, you can decide to refinance a debt for interest rate savings if the market is there for you to do that, or I should say, if the district has extra funds and wants to pay down debt, it could do that as well as soon as year 10. Again, pretty standard. The staff report came with an attachment of several documents. I think maybe a month ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I presented to you an update on where we were and presented basically the same documents. The one that's not on this list from my prior list is the corporate resolution, which you're going to take as your next item. But these documents are standard. It's an authorizing resolution that basically authorizes us to go forward to execute the financing based on the parameters that we went through in the good faith estimate. There's an installment purchase agreement, which basically is the exchange of the funds for the actual construction of things. Those are their certificates of participation. There's a trust agreement. So you have a trustee that manages the debt service payment and pays all the investors for you. So there's an agreement for that. There's also several other agreements. There's an assignment agreement that transfers certain rights from the corporation, from the board. And there's a purchase contract again for the sale of the bonds through the same similar process. The preliminary official statement really is your prospectus. It's your credit report, basically. That is sent over along with these other documents to a rating agency. They review it. We go through a presentation somewhat similar to what we're doing here with them, and they'll give you back a rating, and that goes on top of what will be an official statement when bonds are actually sold. We had a call this morning on the rating. Again, very strong. We're expecting a very strong rating for the district going forward. I think we'll have it. I think our rating is coming up in the next day or so, maybe in about a week. 10 days would be the longest, I think, when you get the rating back. So they will give us a verbal call and say, all right, here's what the rating is. And then they send out a draft report and they give you a few hours to go through it, make sure there's no technical errors. So your district staff, the financing team will review it, make sure it's accurate. Then they post it for everyone to see. So up until that point, it's still kind of private to the district staff and to the individuals. But we're assuming it'll be in the A category. I'm optimistic. Not that I'm suggesting that this will be the case, but I'm hoping for somewhere around AA minus actually. But I know we'll be in a strong A category, but I'm optimistic. You guys are pretty strong. The last part is the community disclosure certificate. So as you issue debt, you have a requirement to keep the investors informed. So on an annual basis, they'll want to look at your audits, and they're going to want to look at performance of the water and wastewater enterprise as a whole. That gets correlated into one report, gets posted annually, roughly around the end of the calendar year. So as your year closes, you finish your audit, they give you some time to post it. Usually they're due around March. So if you close your year in June 30th, March is around when the report times are due, and it's a requirement that you'll have until the bonds are actually fully defeased. So it's a 30-year requirement unless you defease the bonds early. The last part of the presentation is just the schedule. So it's been lots of discussions, I know, over the last several months about the process, but we are here today to have the board consider the documents and the approval to move forward. We, as you see listed here, we expect to have the rating as early as July 28th. Once we have the rating, we'll post the preliminary official statement for the investors to look at and review. We typically give them about 7 days. Investors look at it. During that period between July 29th and August 3rd, or the week of, the underwriter and the transaction, Wells Fargo, is marketing it to every investment account and to their own customers to acquire the bonds. So we have a pricing day. We'll give you the board some feedback on that day. We can tell you what the interest rate will be. Hopefully it'll be better than what we're reporting here as a good faith estimate. So that'll be available to the board and to the public at that time. We typically do a form of a press release for Mr. Macy, and then he can distribute it out if he chooses to. And then a few weeks later, then we close. Once we close, the money is then available for you to start your projects and to move forward. So you've done a lot of the difficult part of getting here. And the staff's done a great job. And again, I've worked in this area. I think this is my 19th year. And I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised at how strong the district's financials looked and the operations look. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions, as is Mr. Forbath, if you have any questions on the documents.
Director Martin?
No.
Director Marhoffen?
Not at this time, thank you.
Director Swoop?
The 10-year mark that you mentioned for possibly paying down or refinancing, is that we have to wait till that 10-year before we could do any of that? And is that, I guess, industry standard or specific to?
You could actually do it less, but you pay more for it. So the rates typically are higher if you want to put something in. We could talk to the underwriter potentially about putting in something that would allow for it at a premium that won't cost higher interest rates. So in other words, year 7, you could pay 103% of the par amount, outstanding amount. Year 8, 102, year 9, 101, year 10 at par. Some deals are done that way where you can pay a premium to pay it down. It's pretty difficult to pay the premiums when the rates are really kind of low though.
Okay.
So we see that a lot on like non-rated transaction like CFDs. They use that a lot because then eventually they can get them rated and that premium gets absolved pretty quickly. But we can ask.
Okay. And then after we vote today, say, I guess worst case scenario, rates skyrocket between your timeline here. Is there anything holding us to that? I mean, it seems like it's pretty steady. But just to say, if it went up a couple points, is that something that we can?
In your resolution, it's a great question, by the way. In your resolution, there are not to exceed amounts. So
Okay.
the board has the ability to say, all right, here's what we're approving, this amount. Anything above that, we don't go. So if the market gets crazy before we sell, we're going to contact Mr. Macy and Skylar and say, today's not the day. You know, we got board approval. Let's wait for the market to be a good favor, and then we'll go forward at that point in time. So there are some protections in there for you if that happens.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
5. Yeah.
Thank you.
So if it goes above 5%, we would tell Brian like, no.
Okay. That's all I have.
Great participation. Thank you. Vice President?
Not really a question, but thank you. We've worked really hard, I know, to get the finances really in shape, and so it's nice to hear that has really paid off. And so I want to thank General Manager Macy and the staff for really working on that. So it's good news.
Yeah. And you honestly, you had some pretty unorganized when we looked at it. A lot of it was like, okay, it's kind of choppy. So it's speaking to the finances specifically, to your point, pretty unusual. We get to pay down debt before we issue bonds for anybody, really. And the ability to do it without having any impact other than some probably going to be a credit positive ultimately. But it helped you with this transaction tremendously to structure it the best, most economical way possible was the ability to pay down, the $1 million plus the line of credit and still have a lot of cash left, really, relatively speaking, to still fund your project with cash. It's going to be a good story to the rating agencies.
I don't have very much to add. He stole a lot of my thunder there, Vice President, but I really am very, very proud of our staff. This has been a very important thing for me personally, coming to this seat to make sure that our district was financially responsible and as efficient as possible. And our staff has risen to that challenge, and they have exceeded some of our expectations and have been recognized by multiple entities, and now including the kind words that you have shared with us today, which we could hear over and over again. So
I didn't
if
do the hard
you
work.
need to repeat anything, please feel free.
You guys have fully funded grant projects. I mean, we just don't see stuff like that.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, we don't see stuff like that very often. So when you get to see it in real time, when you're doing something, it kind of lifts you up even on the finance team, like, oh, good, we're working with an agency that works towards efficiency and effectiveness with everything. You see it when you start looking through things.
Very proud. Thank you. Thank you very much. Do we have any members of the public with any questions for the presenters before we move forward?
No, ma'am, not online.
Thank you very much. With that, do we have anything further from staff before we continue?
No, not at this time.
All right. Well, with that, do I have a motion?
Do we have director comments on this one, or yes,
We just
questions from them?
did.
Or-
Did you want me to go back and do you have another question or a question?
You say the clear committee, not for this gentleman, you go ahead, sit down if you'd like, sir. The clear committee approved this? Is that what I heard earlier?
The CLEAR committee worked in the financing that was required to build this project and the suggestion of moving forward with a bond in the rates that we currently have.
So they approved the budget.
Well, they don't approve our budget.
No, they approved the process and they gave their blessing on the budget.
I suppose you could say it that way. General Manager Macy, would you?
Yes, when we presented all the information, both on the water side and the sewer side, as we were going through the rate discussions, if you will, they looked at our debt, they looked at what projects we had, they looked at our CIP moving forward. They realized that while we could pay cash for those things, there was no reason to deplete our cash, and that if bonds were available to the district, and that would be something that would be palatable for the board, then then it made sense to them to move forward from that perspective. Once we did that, we added that into the model, and then we were able to stretch out our cash for a longer period of years. And then we were then made sure that we had enough budget in our future budgets to pay off the debt service that Michael Bush was talking about in Urban Futures. For that 1.7 number that was referenced in the payoff for the next 30 years, the budget in the rates study was actually 1.8. So we're actually under budget from what was in that rate fee, and that rates and that whole study was not necessarily blessed or approved, but it was definitely scrutinized and reviewed by our clear committee. They were the ones that decided to land on the 9%. Staff was actually was asking for a little bit less, but then we also added in the reserve, or the emergency reserve, if you will. It's not an official reserve, but they wanted to make sure we had some amount of money on cash in both the water and the sewer. That led to the change in the percentage of rate increase, but also kept the bonds in there as well. So yes, it was all properly well vetted, if you will, by the clear committee, and understood that we were going to go out and do financing to cover the cost of the building and the 2 booster stations.
Does that answer your question, Director Martin?
Yes.
All right. Is there anything further from the board? Director Martin?
Nope.
Vice President? Director Sewell?
Need to
Anything?
make a motion.
Please.
So done.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Director Meyerhoffen,
No.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith.
Aye.
And President Duff.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right. Moving right along. Number 10. Award of construction contract for the MSWD main campus to Robert Clapper Construction Services, Inc. General Manager Macy.
Yes, thank you, President Duff, members of the board. On Thursday, I gave a presentation that basically walked us through the history going back almost 2 decades of where we've been talking about possibly replacing this building versus looking next door, looking down at other locations, how we went through the whole process, how the size of the building changed, how a campus was then created, if you will, and then how we went out to bid. With that being said, Eric, I know you presented a presentation on Thursday. Would you like to give that again here on Monday, or would you like to just simply give a summary to the board?
I can certainly give it again.
That would be fantastic and much appreciated.
All right. Let me just get my PowerPoint slides up and running here. Okay. You can see this, correct? This slide 10.
Yes.
Perfect. Great. Okay. Well, thank you, General Manager Macy, and good afternoon, President Duff and members of the board. This item of this agenda pertains to the award of the construction contract of the MSWD main campus facility to Robert Clapper Construction in the amount of $32,922,000. Besides the construction of the MSWD main campus, there's a few other items that are included in the overall project scope that I'll touch on in a few minutes. In terms of the bids received, the district received solicited construction bids for the MSWD main campus, and on the 7th of May of this year, 2 bids were received. The lowest bidder is Robert Clapper Construction, and after staff analyzed their bid proposal and reviewed their supporting documentation, the bid was found to be responsive. Their bid, including the waterline construction on Park Lane and the location of the Horton Ponds 7 and 8, totals $32,922,000. The second lowest bid was $35,037,764, and that was from Barnhart Reese Construction. Of note, included in the staff report packet, it should be attachment number 3, which details the funding breakdown of various aspects of the project, including estimated staff time, supporting consultants that will be discussed in agenda items 11 and 12, and other ancillary costs. Specifically, for Water Fund 201, which is the second row here on the chart, it is separate from the construction project budget, which is the top row. And that'll pay for water line construction within Park Lane. And staff is asking for a job number to be created for those improvements. As a side note, there's a development on the north side of Park Lane. I believe it's called Abode Apartments. I might have the name wrong, but I know it's Abode. It's an Abode development where they're going to be constructing some apartments there. And they will be in need of a water line, and they will be benefiting from the water line that the district will be constructing. So the district will seek to enter into a cost-sharing agreement, and that agreement will be presented to the board at a later date, and they will be reimbursing the district half of their beneficial use, I believe. The second item would be the pond relocation, and that's related to wastewater treatment facilities, and thus staff is requesting a job number to be created for that item of work to be funded from Fund 301. The pond relocation and the water line construction along Park Lane will be applied to their respective funds and not charged against the main campus project budget. Staff time costs are also included in the analysis sheet that's within your packet and are applied to the appropriate funding sources as well. Staff is recommending awarding the construction project to Robert Clapper Construction, as well as a 10% contingency, and executing job numbers for Fund 201 and 301 as defined in the staff report. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Weck. Any questions, Director Martin?
No.
Director Meyerhoffen?
No, just I don't want to end up in closed session over this. So make sure everything's going correctly.
Okay. Director Sewell?
I think I just mentioned it on Thursday, but I'll mention it again. I'm glad that Renewal Clark kind of gave their blessing, so to say, on Clapper. We've seen the East Valley campus and the school district, and I think Renewal Clark has really produced some great buildings. And so if they give their blessing, I'm happy with them. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President?
No.
Okay. I have a statement. Is the contractor on the line with us or not today?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, then I'll reserve that statement for a later point. Can I get a roll call vote or a motion, actually?
I'll move the item.
I would second.
So the contractor's not here on a $30 million deal to answer questions or anything?
I believe they were here Thursday or no.
To be honest with you,
No,
I'm not familiar with whether they were here on Thursday or not, but it doesn't appear that they're on today. They may not have known today was the day that this was going to avail.
Okay. All right, can I get a motion?
You did.
Oh, sorry. And the second, I apologize. Roll call vote, please.
Director Meyerhoffen,
No.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith,
Aye.
and President Duff.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Number 11, award of construction inspection agreements to Z&K Consultants and Landmark Consultants for the construction of the MSWD main campus. General Manager Macy.
Thank you, President Duff, members of the board. This item is in direct connection to the award of the construction contract for the main campus that we just spoke about in our last item. These are two different contracts, one for Z&K Consultants and the other one is Landmark. Eric, is there anything that you'd like to add to Thursday's discussion?
No, General Manager Macy, but we are open for questions.
Thank you. Anything additional?
No.
Okay. Director Martin, any questions?
No.
Director Meyerhoffen?
This, you're our insurance that this is going to be put together correctly. And I hope that if something looks like it's going to be going wrong, that you'll get a hold of General Manager Macy in the beginning of it. And don't let it build up. Let him know right in the beginning that it is something that is about to go wrong. If we go into a closed session, I find out it wasn't handled that way, I'm not going to be happy about it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Director Sewell?
Okay.
Vice President? And have any members of the public joined us online? It is so hard for me to see that.
No, ma'am.
Okay, do we have any other members for comment? No? All right, can I get a motion?
We award construction inspection contract with Z&K Consultants and Landmark Geotechnical for the construction of the MSWD main campus.
And a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Director Meyerhoffen,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith,
Aye.
and President Duff.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
And number 12, approve contract amendment number 6 to Renau Clark Architects for the MSWD main campus project. General Manager Macy.
Thank you, President Duff, members of the board. This item is also part of the main campus agenda process. In their contract, they were to get, I think it was 6.2% of whatever the low bidder was. As you recall, we did add some work, the water line specifically in front of along Park Lane, as well as some other improvements going, curb improvements and things like that on both sides of the street. This increase is representative of that cost that's associated with those activities, as well as the construction management that they'll provide during construction. That concludes our report. Eric Weck, our engineering manager, is there anything else you'd like to add to this? I know you gave a presentation on this on Thursday.
No, General Manager Macy.
That concludes staff's report.
Fantastic. We'll start on this end this time. Any questions or comments, Director Meyerhoffen?
No.
Director Martin?
No.
Vice President? No. Director Sewell? Any questions from the public? Online or otherwise?
No, ma'am.
All right. I only have two small comments. One, the multiple references to the Park Lane percentage to the other beneficial user, but there hasn't been the percent disclosed. Do we know what the estimated percentage of that beneficial user will be?
Believe that it simply just comes down to fire flow. The existing water line there could provide both enough water, if you think domestic water, to both the housing unit and ours, but it's the fire flow. They have not given us their final drawings, if you will, of what that site will look like. But we believe that based on the construction type that they were requesting before and the layout of that facility, they have a similar to requirement from the Riverside County that we would have. Therefore, it'd be a 50-50 split. So that's really what our expectations are.
Okay, great. And then I just have one statement that applies to actually number 10, 11, and number 12. And I'm going to make it as brief as possible. It's a comment in regarding to just the importance of this project as a whole to our community and to every member of Mission Springs Water District. And our continued success depends not just on the quality of our buildings or of our pipes, but also on how we execute building them. And as leaders on the job site, we are expecting that they bear profound responsibility to set the example for both legal and regulatory compliance, and that is not negotiable. When you step onto our job site, you and your subcontractors are the face of our project. We ask that you please display integrity and lead by example with zero compromise to safety and regulatory alignments. This board holds every member of the MSWD team to the highest standards, as we do our contractors and subcontractors. And that is my only statement, and I am very excited to see this go forward. Can we get a motion, please?
I will move.
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Director Meyerhoffen,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith,
Aye.
and President Duff.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you.
President Duff, we will make sure that your comments are repeated both with the contractor and the pre-construction meeting, so the entire project team understands what your expectations are. I know that our last large project, which was the Nancy Wright facility, was very important. That was spread across 60 acres. This one being smaller and also next to a public park and a school. We will see a different type of scrutiny, and we'll make sure to meet your expectations.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, with that, we will move on to number 13. Approve contract amendment number 1 to Canyon Springs Enterprises for Well 22 project. General Manager Macy.
Thank you, President Duff. Members of the board, on Thursday, our engineering manager, Eric Weck, provided a update on this project. As you recall, the change order is related to some things that were below a concrete pad as we were doing the excavation to raise the well, the motor itself, as well as adding to some contingencies. It is $70,000 of a $1.5 million contract. Eric, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, General Manager Macy.
That concludes staff's summary of this project and are available for any questions.
Thank you very much. Director Martin.
No.
Director Meyerhoffen. Director Sewell, Vice President. Members of the public.
No, ma'am, not online.
Any present? No. All right, with that, can I get a motion?
I'll move the item. Second.
And a roll call, please.
Director Meyerhoffen,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith,
Aye.
and President Duff.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
And real quick, General Manager Macy, how quickly do you think 22 will be complete?
I would, sorry, November this year.
That's good. That's good. Thank you. All right, number 14, award contract agreement with Urban Habitat for annual landscape maintenance for district facilities for 26-27. General Manager Macy.
Thank you, President Duff, members of the board. On Thursday, our Director of Operations, Danny Friend, gave a report on this item, as talked about their successful contract negotiations that happened, as well as their past performance for the district. Danny, is there any additional items you'd like to add to Thursday's conversation? Nothing at this time. With that, we're available for any questions.
All right. Director Meyerhoffen. Director Martin.
No.
Vice President. Director Sewell.
I was happy to hear that we're happy with them.
Yes.
With that, I would move to approve the item.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
I will second.
And before we take a roll call vote, do we have any members of the public with any questions or concerns?
No, ma'am, not online.
And seeing none in person, we will go ahead and request that roll call vote now.
Director Meyerhoffen,
No.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith,
Aye.
and President Duff.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. All right, number 15, award contract with Gentry General Engineering, Inc. for on-call pavement and concrete repairs for water and sewer projects for 26 and 27 fiscal year. General Manager Macy.
Thank you, President Duff, members of the board. Much like the item preceding this one, Director of Operations Danny Friend provided a summary of the staff report that was presented and added context to this particular award. This is a new contractor for on-call pavement and concrete repairs. Danny, is there anything you'd like to add to Thursday's discussion? With that, staff concludes our discussion today, but are available for any questions.
Director Meyerhoffen.
No.
Director Martin.
No.
Vice President. Director Sewell.
Noted.
Any members of the public?
No, ma'am.
And Director of Operations, if you could just share my earlier comment with our new contractors in the paving segment, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you. And can I get a motion?
Sure, I'll move.
A second?
I'll second it.
And a roll call vote, please.
Director Meyerhoffen,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith,
Aye.
and President Duff.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right, that brings us to number 16. I'm going to pass out. You could pass it to the attorney as well. It's really hot in here. You could pass those down.
Why are we just getting this just now?
This is I've passed out to our board members the board affiliation list. This has been updated per the request of our members. And if there's any comments or questions, we can take them now, or you can just take this under submission.
What?
You can either accept it under submission, but if you have any comments or questions, you can address them now. Director Martin, any questions?
No, except to say thank you.
You're welcome. And Vice President?
Yeah, because I'm really confused. There's assigned meetings at the bottom and, oh, there's stuff. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I was,
All right.
sorry.
No worries. And
Old eyes.
Director Sewell?
Nothing.
All right. Director Meyerhoffen?
I just want to say that I'm very unhappy about what has taken place with these meetings. As a veteran who went to college and the VA paid for my second half of my education, none of it has ever been used here on any meetings or anything. I think it's just a shame that the board hasn't used my education in the way that it could have used and benefited from it, especially with the BIA.
With that, General Manager, do I need to request an approval from the board, or can we move along since it is at the purview of the president?
I think the fact that four folks have been positive towards that, I think that's a consensus from a 4-1 perspective. Dory, would you like to do a roll call just for the meeting minutes?
I would prefer yes.
Not a problem. If we could get a roll call vote, please.
I need a motion and a second.
Oh, you're so correct. Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second.
Director Meyerhoffen,
No.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith.
Aye.
And President Duff.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. All right, we have the couple discussion items. MSWD main campus update. General Manager Macy.
Thank you, President Duff, members of the board. We did have 4 items on this agenda regarding directly related to the main campus. So I think that concludes our update for today.
Thank you for that. And do we have any questions from the board regarding any of our main campus issues? Director Meyerhoffen?
No.
Director Martin?
No.
Vice President?
Yeah.
No? Director Sewell? I don't either. Are there any members of the public before we move forward?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Number 18, groundwater protection program update. General Manager Macy.
Thank you, President Duff, members of the board. On Thursday, we did provide an update of both, more specifically, the M2 project. We're still waiting for a schedule from the contractor. However, we are going to have a public meeting on Thursday, the 23rd. I'd ask Assistant General Manager Marion Champion if she'd have anything to add to last Thursday's discussion, other than maybe reiterate the time of our Zoom meeting on Thursday.
Thank you, General Manager Macy. As was mentioned last Thursday, we do have a public workshop being held on Thursday evening here in this room. But that public workshop will actually be also Zoomed, available for Zoom if anyone would like to remotely participate. We'll be doing all of the presentation both in English and Spanish, and we will have that up on our website in case anyone can't make that meeting. We've got a dedicated webpage. We've got some FAQs, a presentation, and we are putting together a full hardcore press on social, trying to get people and anyone invited that would like to come and participate in the meetings. And I do feel that, we're probably going to see some things on social today. So you may see a little bit of talk. Hopefully people will understand the areas. We'll put the map up so people can see who's going to be impacted.
Fantastic. Thank you. Any further questions or concerns from the board? Director Martin? Just a second. Director Martin, do you have anything? Vice President, since you were very eager.
Have you fielded any inquiries or anything regarding this so far?
We've received one call and one email.
Director Sewell? Director Martin? Do I have any members of the public with any concerns or questions regarding the reminder of the upcoming Thursday meeting?
No, ma'am, not online.
Fantastic. We sure hope they all are able to attend and get their questions answered. And if I'm remembering correctly, you're posting the recorded meeting on the website?
Yes, we'll have, once we're done with the meeting, we will do just like we do with our board meetings. We'll put it on our YouTube site and then put a link on our website.
Just wanted the reminder out there again. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to our consent agenda. Does anyone want to pull any items from our consent agenda 19 or 20?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss something?
No, I just wanted to let
I'm
the
still
board.
new at this.
No, no.
Correct me, General Manager. Macy.
No, not correcting. I know that we received.
As a president.
We received one, I did receive one question. I just wanted to get that out there. The question was that $3 million is a little bit high for one of our monthly demands.
Oh.
And I wanted to make sure that I did discuss it with our accounting manager and as Urban Futures made a reference to us paying down some of our previous debt. That's why that last month is a little bit higher than others. So I just wanted to answer that question in a public forum.
Thank you. And I also will add to that, since I was the one with the side comment about that. It was wonderful to see the new Tyler reporting and how easy it was to see exactly where that money went. And I was not even having to ask the question because it was clear that we paid off those debts. So thank you very, very much. I have nothing further and I don't have any reason to pull anything. Do I have a motion to approve consent agenda?
Consent agenda.
Second?
I'll second it.
And a roll call vote, please.
Director Meyerhoffen,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Vice President Griffith.
Aye.
And President Duff.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. And that will bring us to our reporting. Number 21, Director's Reports. Do I have a volunteer to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
All right, Director Martin, go ahead.
I can find my paperwork here. Here we go. Okay, on 6/3 and 6/12, I attended the Association of California Water Agencies Region 9 board meetings, which the substance of the meetings was the plans for the upcoming conference at Wilson Creek Winery and also individual committee reports. On 6/4/26, Desert Valley Builders Association legislative meeting at Rancho Mirage City Hall. Representatives from state, city, county, gas company, and water districts were in attendance. Main discussion was on development. On 6/9/26, Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Awards. It was a well-attended, nice event. My recollection was only 2 Mexican restaurants, Buzzbox and Quick Quack Car Wash, and lastly, Fantasy Springs Resort Casino were awarded awards. On the 17th, Riverside County Oversight Board topics addressed. On the agenda was Indian Wells. They're requesting approval to issuance of refunding bonds, and City of Paris requesting approval of tax allocation refunding bonds. On 6/17/26, Desert Valley Builders Association anniversary party at Palm Springs Air Museum. It's always nice to attend events like this because they're honoring
our military. And it was very well done. It was the theme of the party was Top Gun Maverick, and there were a lot of people there dressed as Tom Cruise. I had my bomber jacket all set in the car, but it was too damn hot to wear that thing and the thing, so I had to go without. Anyway, it was a fun, very nice event. On June 22nd, Cabot's board meeting plans. Oh, this is something you got to remember. Plans for Halloween. They're going to do some really spooky stuff at the museum. And we got one of our members of the board is a professional special effects person with film. And we're going to have some really neat, scary stuff. So try to make it if you can. On the 24th, the Association, let me back up. Association of Kauai Indian Tribal Water Authority Board. There was a discussion of groundwater production fees. They covered the 2027 budget, the Water Conservation Management Plan, and Cathedral City Country Club groundwater production permit. And lastly, on the 29th, Coachella Valley Association of Governments General Assembly Conference. Some of the topics that were addressed were transportation in the Coachella Valley, energy, sustainability, administration, finance, desert community, and energy, Coachella Valley Conservation Commission, and community resources. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Busy month. Who would like to go next?
I can.
Go ahead.
June 2nd, Desert Hot Springs City Council. Council honored students from our local schools who had received awards on overcoming significant challenges. They also had a great presentation from the ROTC program at the high school. Council approved the Community Facilities District Improvement Area 1 in Skyborn. They also approved an updated contract with SWAG Social Work Action Group to run the homeless outreach and engagement services. June 9th, attended the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce Installation and Business Awards. I thought it was a great evening. Mission Springs Water District won the Large Business of the Year for the West Valley. And our President Duff did a great job with her acceptance speech, really showcasing the importance of water in our valley. Great job. June 16th, Desert Hot Springs City Council. There was a full room. The majority were there for the item for data center moratorium, which was approved by the council. All of the public comments on the item were opposed to data centers, and there were quite a few comments where they mentioned Mission Springs by name and the need to protect our award-winning water. There was also a presentation by the Mojave Desert Land Trust, which spoke on a proposed wildlife crossing overpass over the Highway 62. Council also approved an updated short-term vacation rental fee, which actually reduced the current short-term rental fee. A moratorium on dollar stores was extended. And finally, council approved a resolution of intent to form an EIFD, Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District, which would allow them to set aside a portion of property taxes for a specific use. And that's all I have for the month.
Fantastic. Vice President?
June 2nd, I attended a DWA board meeting. That was a very long meeting. They had a lot. The adoption of the Coachella Valley Regional Urban Water Management Plan. They adopted their 2025 water shortage contingency plan. Also did an agreement between Cathedral City and DWA for septic to sewer project. They're using grant from the state Clean Water State Revolving Fund. Cathedral City will lead the grant and DWA will actually do the construction. They adopted a records retention schedule, general plan strategy update, and they did draft budgets for 2026, 2027. On June 9th was the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Awards, which, yes, we did win an award. And I will say that the cost for a glass of wine was quite exorbitant. If you ever go to something at the Renaissance, go to the bar in the middle because it's actually cheaper than what they charge you when you go into the event. Very well-run event, very much on time. June 16th was the DWA board meeting. That was another long one. They had a public hearing on the groundwater replenishment assessment for West Whitewater River Subbasin and Mission Creek Subbasin. Approval of the 2026 cost of living salary increase for employees. Adoptions of rates and fees for water, recycled water, and sewer service. Adoption of their 2026-27 operating, general, and wastewater budgets. Authorize the GM to execute a contract for the updating of their customer portal, and then requested board adoption of the mitigated negative declaration for the DWA CBWD interconnection 2 project. And at that one, I know Assistant General Manager Champion had mentioned about average customer bill that was on one of the most recent meetings, but at that one, they said the average DWA customer bill is $130 to $140 a month. So I thought that was kind of high. And on June 29th, also attended the Coachella Valley Association of Governments General Assembly, and that was my month.
Thank you very much. Director Marhoffen, I don't see you listed here, but did you have any events that you attended that you wanted to report on?
It's a heck of a comment.
Okay, so I'll proceed. On June 8th, Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce 2026 Award Dinner. It was truly my honor to accept that award on behalf of the district. Receiving acknowledgements like this give our board members an opportunity to show off our team here at MSWD and the hard work that every member is doing every single day to provide high quality services to our community. We are so proud of the work that every member of our team is doing, and opportunities like that to praise you and be proud of you in public is just extra special. So that was a wonderful event. On June 12th, I attended the Aqua State Ledge Committee meeting by Zoom. We discussed Aqua's positions on the following bills. There were 2 bills, but both of them had a lot of discussion. AB 1894. Aqua ended up having a favor position. It was really split in the discussions. This particular bill was regarding the state having exclusive authority regarding the invasive mussels so that water districts can't prohibit or block water deliveries due to the fear of these mussels. And there was several communities on that call that were within 3 months of being out of water if they did not receive those deliveries. And I think that really was what influenced the majority of the members to be in favor of protecting people who have only one source, can't risk losing that source. Then also AB 1881, they continue to oppose unless amended. This was by Member Ramos, and it protects tribal religious freedom on state public lands. And I am a proponent for tribal freedoms and honors. This particular was not because of that, but because of the definitions used that they had to oppose unless it's amended. They were very broad in their definitions of the state public lands and very broad as to conveyance lines and easements that are held by utilities and whether or not those could be used for religious services and prohibited to the departments to access. So that's definitely one to watch. On June 22nd, I attended an emergency Aqua State Ledge Committee meeting, and they had a very lengthy discussion again, very heated. This was regarding disaster recovery contract regulations. It was Senator McGuire's bill SB 1263. And they are requiring that contractors that bid or that are hired by any member of the public to remediate debris from natural disasters and hazardous waste from natural disasters have to have a special license in order to do so. And so there was a lot of concern on how much that would end up costing and how much that would delay things. In the end, Aqua decided to hold this, waiting for some amendments to be done again in the actual definitions of what properties, what is the debris, and what constitutes hazardous waste. Their goal is to remove residential properties from this bill altogether. On June 29th, I attended the Coachella Valley Association of Governments Annual General Assembly. We heard from Supervisor Perez, the Mayor of Blythe, and a keynote speaker that was from the California Chamber of Commerce. I found his comments really interesting about the changes to our workforce and customer base, as well as the changes to how the public hears us. And I thought he gave us a lot of great tips. We also were able to congratulate our local girls soccer team who did an outstanding job this year and were awarded some additional trophies from the Coachella Valley Association of Governments. And that concludes, I had one more comment. I was at CVAG, they debuted a video that was highlighting the cleanup work that was done in Desert Hot Springs. And I think that the one thing I hope, and I know this is being shared places, but the one thing that I hope is clear was just how extensive this project and this cleanup was. It was beyond just taking a bulldozer and burying everything. It involved tow companies, environmental cleanup crews, and they did an amazing job completely removing the contaminants left behind from these protected areas. I also hope that the message is clear with our residents in that our entire city is on top of our drinking water storage and that it is every person's responsibility and every single resident's responsibility to do our part to ensure that our ground is kept clear of the illegal dumping and encampments that can destroy the amazing award-winning quality of our water. I think that is enough of a soapbox for me. And again, it was a very busy month. Do we have any other, at this time, sorry, trying to get back to my list here. Do we have any comments for future agenda items or future meeting requests? Oh, yeah, I did. I skipped something. The general manager's report. I know we did so much of it on Thursday. I guess I just figured it was done.
We did do
General
that.
Manager Macy, please.
Thank you, President Duff. No. We did go over the general manager's report, both the finance and the public affairs report on Thursday. And I also received some suggestions that our vote for the Southern Region election go to Jason Dafford of Valley Sanitary District. I see 3 heads nodding, so that gives me the guidance I need to move forward with that election. Thank you.
Yes.
That concludes our report.
Thank you very much. So I will return to what I previously said. Any directors with any comments for future agenda items or future meetings? Director Meyerhoffen.
No.
Director Sewell.
Yes, just I'm very happy to be moving forward with the main campus. It's been a long time coming. My entire 9 years on the board or whatever I'm up to, there's been talks about a new campus. But my big thing is just a big thank you to the staff. Your hard work, I mean, we saw positive comments today and we continue to get positive audits and awards, and your hard work deserves a better work environment than this building. And so I appreciate your sacrifices, and I'm happy and hopeful that we have a new workplace for all of you sooner than later.
I'm sorry, President Duff, were you asking for director comments or future agenda items or both
Yeah,
together?
23 is general comments, requests for future agenda, and requests for future meetings. I can come back to you at the end.
Alrighty.
Director Martin.
Yeah, I want to echo the comments that were made by Director Sewell. I want to add to this that I am always impressed with Dory putting together these agenda items and getting it all down here for us to review. This is a lot of work to make sure that we each have all of the documents required in order to make the decisions we make. So hats off to staff and also Dory. So
Thank you, Director Martin. Vice President.
I too am looking forward to a new building, one that actually has air conditioning in the boardroom.
Thank you. Director Meyerhoffen, go ahead.
Last week, I made a comment about the cleanup efforts by the city and CVAC. I wasn't trying to discredit anybody in that cleanup effort. I think thank Councilmember Gardner for his efforts and the cleanup. It's much needed. What I was referring to was what was under the ground. And I don't know if our tractors are out there apparently burying stuff under the ground and doing the cleaning it up, but it sounds like what it sounded like. Anyhow, the septic makeshift septic tanks from the RVs and the trash that's under there from the homeless people. I mentioned that last week. I'll tell you how that's going to get cleaned up. When the lot owner sells that parcel of property and somebody goes to build on it, they'll bring a tractor in there and they'll either be buried further or it'll be hauled out at that time. And that, I guess in this case, because it's so costly and it really is the responsibility of the property owner, that's probably how it'll end up being done. However, as some of you may have remember me saying that all the military bases, not all of them, but the majority of the military bases, the surrounding area, the wells are polluted. And I've said this a couple of years back. I don't want to see that. I see the same thing happening with different cities and different county areas. We have to make some stricter rules, let the people know that we are protecting our groundwater with these rules. And in return, what that'll do is show that we have value to our water, and it may help with tourism, because now it's just not about soaking in the mineral water. It's about soaking in that precious mineral water that we're protecting. Therefore, it has a value to the tourist. So that's my idea on that. And now that it's been brought out in the open, as far as the Pledge of Allegiance goes, I am a second-generation Marine. My grandfather served in World War I, part of World War II, and he served as a state park ranger, retired from that. My mother's husband was recalled during Desert Storm, and my mom even has a plaque from the Air Force thanking her for her time for the 6 months she spent out on a asphalt driveway somewhere in a motorhome. So I can pick and choose whenever I'd like to say the Pledge of Allegiance to that flag. And President Duff, if you and I had better communication over the last 3 years, you'd know exactly why I'm not saying the Pledge of Allegiance up here. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I had a couple comments I was going to make today, and with the spirit of time and trying to end on a little bit more positive note, I think I will reserve them for a future meeting. I do want to show great appreciation to our staff, as always, for the hard work that each and every one of you put into making MSWD who we are today. Part of the comments that I had, I will share, and that I am very proud of the accomplishments that have been made, especially in the last 3 years here. And it's very important that we all keep our compass set in the right direction so that we keep heading in the right direction. We all have obligations, board members, our legal counsel, our general manager, and our staff. And it is very important that we heed those obligations with integrity, honesty, and respect to our organization, to our employees, to our staff, to our neighbors, and to our community. And with that, I am done with my comments for the day. And is there anything further before I close the meeting today? No?
No, just a reminder that we do have an Improvement Corporation meeting following this.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We will conclude today's regularly scheduled board meeting, and we will be beginning our corporate meeting in about 5 minutes. Is that okay?
What about the closed session? Is that?
Closed session was not proceeding today, correct?
Correct. Closed session is handled on all the items were handled on Thursday.
Okay.
Perfect. So 5 minutes and we will be opening our next board meeting for the corporation. Thank you.